Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Reboot It. Tonight we're joined by.
Benny Karnes.
So sorry for the long delay. I was supposed to have a knee surgery. It turns out that I couldn't because I'd scratched myself. And if you've ever had joint replacement surgery, you have the slightest scratch or blemish, they will delay your surgery because it increases the risk of infection. They're already putting foreign objects in your body, and so it's just a bad situation. So now,
So I've got a question on that.
yeah.
Are you getting like the fancy where they scan your knee and make a 3D replicated version of it, or are you getting
No.
like
You
what
think
it's
the
like?
PEIA would pay for that?
Oh, well, no,
No. I'm just getting a good old fashioned knee replacement. Nothing fancy.
cool.
So now the plan is to do it over Christmas break. So
That's not
Merry
bad.
Christmas to me. For
Yeah.
Christmas, I got a new knee. What'd you get?
All I've got is a Proxmox, man. That's
It's I gave one of those at Gen Cyber Camp. We did Gen Cyber Camp last week, and a Proxmox that I put in a grab bag of goodies because during
wow.
camp they can earn cyber bucks,
Uh-huh.
and so they got a Proxmox, a bow tie, just a bunch of just random stuff. Quite frankly, um,
That's a pretty big difference between from a bow tie to a Proxmox.
well, not really. Have you seen the price of bow ties?
No.
They're not cheap. Um, so anyway, yeah, I think they made out like a bandit.
Heck yeah.
So good times. So that was last week. So I'm just back from camp. I was supposed to have my surgery on Friday the 13th. I'm not really superstitious, but I'm kind of glad it's not going to be on Friday the 13th.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Oh well. Now it's in December. I think it's the last day of finals, which means I have to get my grades in and stuff because it's going to be a tight squeeze between having knee replacement surgery and rehabilitating and being back in class mid to late January. So,
Yeah.
see upcoming conferences. They're listed on the website. Black Hat, August 4th through the 9th. Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, Nevada, blackhat.com. DEF CON, August 9th to the 12th. Caesar Palace and Flamingo Hotels. It's in 2 hotels this year. They just can't contain it. DEF CON might as well be, DerbyCon might as well be in 2 hotels. They have offered room blocks in the Marriott where it's hosted, also at the Hyatt, which is the old location, and they just opened a room block in the Omni, which is across the street. It's a brand new hotel. All those are sold out.
Wow.
I'm staying,
Including the Omni?
yeah, I'm staying 2 blocks away, and I thought I'd have a new knee, but I might have to hire people to carry me. It's going to suck. I'm still waiting to see if we get a talk in. I don't have tickets. I'm hoping that maybe I get a talk in or get to buy it. Tickets based upon the submission of a talk. But our hotel is booked, so we're planning to go.
Yeah.
You going to DerbyCon this year, Benny?
Hopefully.
Oh,
All of it.
we submitted talks together, didn't we?
Yep. Yeah, the 3 or 4 geeks, and then you and Matt, I think, submitted a
And I
workshop or a
submitted a
talk.
talk on top of that too.
Okay.
Um, B-Sides Charleston, Saturday, November 10th, and it's at the Wells Fargo Auditorium in South Charleston. I'm sorry, not in South Charleston. It's in Charleston, South Carolina. CFP is open. bsidescharleston.org. Secure WV HackerCon, November
Woo!
30th through September. November the 30th through December 2nd, Holiday Inn Hotel and Suites, Charleston West, in South Charleston, West Virginia. HackerCon, I'm sorry, securewv.com. Which, can you talk a little bit about the website and what's open?
Yeah, so basically, if you go to, we still use the securewv.com, but it'll transfer you to .org. securewv.org. All of the secure WV, like if you do .net or whatever, it all goes to .org now. But the CFP is open, as well as the registration, room blocks, everything's open. We've already got a few submissions, so we need to keep getting those submissions in. We also have some training that we're still in the process of arranging. So, and then also, I need to get it on the website, but SME, the folks said that they were going to do the hardware hacking again this year.
Awesome.
That is confirmed. I need to get them up there and Greenbrier on as sponsors on our website.
Yeah. I also offered to do training.
Yep. Your training is going to be intro to pen testing and OSINT, which will be great.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get a buddy of mine works for Red Hat, and he was there last year, and we're trying to get like overt a class on that. We've already got an Ansible class lined up. Hopefully we're going to get some other classes like that. I would like to get, if anyone in the view or listening audience does Bro or Moloch or any of those things and would like to submit, please submit. And
I'm a bro.
You're a bro? Not a bro, but knows.
I know the guy that developed Bro. We could ask him. He's kind of moved on at this point, but
yeah,
he's a good dude. He's from Cincinnati originally.
Cool.
I forget his name. That's as awful.
Yeah. You say you know him.
No, I know him. Can't think of his name. I'm bad with names.
I am too.
Do you think anything else to talk about? Because I have to pee like a racehorse all of a sudden.
Okay.
You know, I bet Dave Ramsey doesn't have these problems.
No, probably doesn't.
John Hannity probably doesn't have these problems. So anyway, just keep talking. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm not going to take my microphone in the bathroom.
Well, let's hope not.
It's not going to be like some really bad movie. Okay, be right back.
Okay. We also have lined up, we're bringing back the voting machine. So we'll be doing that as well. Same one as last year. So if you were one of the folks that got something off of it, you may want to come back, see if the same stuff's on there. Bill's classes have been playing with it for the last year or so. We're also going to do the key signing party and also the karaoke on Saturday. We're also going to have a gun safety class open to all if you register and are over 18, I think you have to be over 18. You can take the self-defense or the gun defense class, safety class. We've had that in the past. This year we're going to offer it again. Trying to think what else that we've got there. So we're also going to have you all right?
That's amazing.
What?
You just kept talking the entire time.
Well, yeah. I have a face for radio.
I was going to say, did you used to work in radio or something?
Maybe, maybe not. You don't know. I did have a commercial where I was actually in it.
Really?
Yep. Played on air for about 3 months.
Half price.
No, it was So I interned at 102, and I wanted to
Super 102, South Charleston, West Virginia. Yeah,
I wanted to work I wanted to do commercials. That was my thing, and so they put me with Just Plain Mike, and Mike was a genius when it came to just being able to just wrap up all these commercials, and some of them were pretty funny. Well, he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna let you do one." It was a putting range or driving range in Taze Valley somewhere, and they were just starting out, and I forget the name of the company. But anyway, so
Alpha Technologies. I'm kidding.
Do what?
It's Alpha Technologies.
Yeah, they had a driving range, but so that's how they started. But so it's me starting out with yelling 4, and we just went in the studio. We kind of wrote it up in like 30 minutes, and he's like, "Come on, let's do this." I'm like, "I thought you were supposed to have like, you know, the talent do it, one of the DJs." And he's like, "Nope, we don't have time. We've got to get this out like in the next half hour." And I'm like, "Okay." So we went in the studio and banged it out, and it actually played on air for off and on. It wasn't like really popular, but yeah, it was pretty interesting. I actually could submit that for my radio production class, and that helped my grade.
Radio production. I
Radio
got to talk on the radio.
Yep. With Steve Gilliland,
Who?
one of my favorite teachers at State.
Oh, I was going to say. I thought he was a disc jockey. I'm like, I never heard of him. Is he no Wolfman Jack?
No.
Showing my age.
No, Steve is like the camera guy and animation guru.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Ben's actually going to be working with him when he starts up at State to do the animation stuff.
So I'm looking at the Bro page, bro.org. It looks like they have their own conference coming up. In Arlington, Virginia, October 10th to the 12th, BroCon 2018. So if you go to bro.org or brocon2018.com, you can check that out. So you know who knows a lot about Bro? HackerCon 1 Black Badge winner, John.
I forgot about him.
Yeah.
I need to send him an email. He now works for Rapid 7, doesn't he?
I believe so. He was running. I believe he was at he was at a university. He was running like a network monitoring group.
Yeah, it was.
And he's come back and done talks. But if you want a Bro specific talks or an Elk specific talk or a number of other different things, I'm sure that he could, if we can find him. Yeah.
I still follow him on Twitter.
What's his name? What's his last name? We're awful.
I can't. He would kill us.
He would kill us. Let me look it up.
Okay, look it up.
HackerCon 1. Okay, don't shoot. Let's see. That's back in 2012. Check that out.
HackerCon 1?
That's what it says here.
I thought it was 2010.
October. That's probably HackerCon 3.
Yeah, I was going to say HackerCon 1 was 2010, I thought.
Oh, I can't find it. John Ship is his name.
That's it.
And I didn't find anything. I was just looking through here. I just found a picture of Boris ranting on stage at HackerCon 2. That was a fun time. HackerCon 2 and 3
That's Powerade
were just hilarious. Yeah, I just found my pictures on Facebook.
Well, you need to put them in our group thing so that we can have some pictures of because we don't have like those first few HackerCons.
These are not good pictures, but yeah.
Hey, pictures are pictures for posterity.
Also, Matt Perry, I'm sure, could find some. We just need to go look probably through our Facebooks. I'm sure they're back there. There's a picture of me at HackerCon 1. I look like I'm 12. And it was the first time I met Dave, and I think we got an argument about something. I can't remember. Anyway.
You met him at HackerCon 1?
First time I met Dave. No, I met Dave at the Louisville Metasploit.
Yeah, you met him the year before.
I did not meet him though. I kind of looked at him. He looked at me, and I swear, I didn't want to. We're in the bathroom, peeing beside each other, and I really didn't.
So that's the story.
I really didn't want to say, "Hey, are you Dave Kennedy?" We actually didn't get to meet and talk until HackerCon 1. Well, we picked him up at the airport, and then we went out and had dinner, and then Carlos Perez also was at HackerCon 1.
Mm-hmm.
Pure Hate.
Yep.
Martin Boss was at HackerCon 1. Adrian. I'm trying to think. There's a picture of us someplace.
Yeah, I didn't know who Dave was. I didn't know who anybody was.
Were you at HackerCon 1?
Yes, I was. I wasn't on the board yet, but I had talked to I think I had talked to you and Rob and maybe Matt about joining the group because I thought you guys met like monthly.
Oh yeah, well,
And
I'm sure we did it back then.
no, you guys were
But at
like,
one
yeah,
point,
sure.
we were meeting like weekly at one point.
Well, I mean, but that was for getting ready for HackerCon. But I asked you guys, I was like, hey, do you guys do like a monthly thing, a monthly meetup? And they're like, yeah, yeah. And so what I didn't realize was it was the board.
Yeah, it was
So you
board
guys
of
invited
directors.
me to the board, and I'm like, uh, okay. And that was when I met Rick.
Yeah,
And but yeah, on
congratulations.
HackerCon 1, I was sitting there, I was like, man, I gotta find this Dave guy. I don't know who this guy is. And like I said, I didn't know any of these guys. And I was sitting in the back table, and this dude sits down, and he's just like typing furiously the
Yeah,
entire
that's
time
Dave.
he's there, but he's still like talking to me. Hey, how you
Oh,
doing?
he can type, talk, drive a car, anything you need. He's a multitasker.
It was crazy. But anyway, so then I was like, oh, this is a pretty good conference. He goes, cool, glad you like it. And then about that time, Rob goes, okay, our last guest is Dave Kennedy. I'm like, you're Dave Kennedy?
We did HackerCon, which we now call HackerCon Secure WV, before they did DerbyCon 1. And I swear they all came and they looked around at us and said, if these idiots can do it, we can do it better. So HackerCon is actually a year older than DerbyCon.
Yep.
And I've been at every DerbyCon since DerbyCon 1. Kind of hate to see it move from the Hyatt, but I understand why. We'll see how it is. I think it's going to be weird this year.
I sad to say, I have only been able to make it to the last two, and was really disappointed that I didn't get a ticket this year. I saw
We know somebody with tickets if you have to buy them. That becomes a
yeah.
bigger issue for me because I have to convince the university I have to buy a ticket from a third party, which is going to be almost impossible.
We've got, I mean, and of course, as
I still got to get Blair tickets.
Yeah, and there's always, there's always tickets available and they've actually got a Slack channel now that there's one for buying and selling tickets.
Yeah.
So people go in there all the time saying, hey, I need two, I need one. And, people are connected up on there already. So, yeah.
I think eventually if you really want tickets, you'll find them.
Oh,
it's just a shame that DerbyCon's become a version of ShmooCon, and I don't think they've ever done that on purpose. It's just a matter if they want to keep it smallish or mid-sized, and it's I'm looking at DEF CON going, you couldn't pay me money to go out there this year.
Really?
It's huge. 2 hotels. Yeah. You're not going to see anybody. I think that there are 25, 30,000 people.
You say that, but out of 22,000 people, I found Adrian, I found Brian.
Adrian's not going this year, apparently.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know a lot of people who are going. I guess people who are speaking that I know. I don't even know who's speaking, though. I'm sure Jason Street will be there.
I saw him, went to introduce myself, and I did not realize how busy that dude is.
Yeah.
But man, he was just like there 1 second, and I blinked, and he wasn't. He was running down the hall to meet somebody.
He's spoken at Aid once or maybe twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
And George Viedman's spoken at Aid. Those are probably two of our biggest names. Dave used to come all the time. Dave's just a busy dude now.
Yeah, he is. So. Yeah, last time that he came to Hacker, I guess it was Secure WV 2, which would be HackerCon. I can't remember Well,
it would have been, yeah.
It was a couple of years ago.
Year before last.
Yeah, he only could stay for his talk because he keynoted, and he came in a few minutes before his talk. He gave his talk, and then like an hour later, that was all he had time for. And he drove in, drove back, and I'm like, wow, that's rough, dude.
Yeah, he was good for doing that, but over time, between the stresses of running 2 companies,
yep,
and having a family, I think has finally caught up with him. And Dave did most of the things that he did before he was 30 years old. In his 20s, he was CISO of Diebold.
Yep.
It's amazing. He's an amazing guy.
Yeah. And to be
I'd
able
kiss
to
him if he were here right now.
do what?
And I would kiss him if he were here right now. But anyway.
Yeah. And the tools that he puts out are amazing.
Yeah.
So
Dave has fabulous tool. Oh, you're talking about the computer stuff. Never mind. So you want to talk about the stories this week?
No, not really.
Okay, me neither.
Too depressing.
Well, the stories this week is like apparently Mueller investigated 12 Russians for hacking the DNC server. Mueller, which we all know about. In fact, I wrote a academic paper 2 years ago that's finally going to get published tomorrow on this very subject. And so they actually identified and indicted some Russians.
So my take is they busted spies for spying. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm just messing with you.
Well, I mean, if you look at what you call this, was it information warfare? It was actually hacking because they do social engineering.
Oh,
read
yeah.
my paper and learn all about it. They use social engineering. They used,
Phishing.
a fancy bear malware, and it was phishing. It wasn't particularly. They hacked into the servers. They got John Podesta to click on a link.
Yeah.
So once again, another high visibility hack that was resolved social engineering. So when we going to actually fix the problem of social engineering?
So that actually, I was actually working this week. I'm actually in a summer camp teaching kids on. It's a manufacturer maker camp, and we're doing pies and stuff. And
I keep they're delicious.
Yeah. So we've actually in between as we're like getting our snacks, or we gave them flash drives, and I said, so what do you all do with these flash drives when you get home? And someone goes, stick it in the computer. And of course, I take the opportunity to explain the safety precautions behind all that. And then we have talked a little bit about some of this stuff, and I'm like, that's what we need to do. We need to sit down and start helping people learn this stuff. And how do you do that? I mean, how many times have we talked about the same thing on this podcast? How many people are talking?
Well, I approached Valerie, who is my co-author of the first book, and said, you want to do a revision? And she's like, no, nothing's changed. Nothing has changed since we did the first version of the book. And we could probably update it with stories and things, but literally nothing has changed. And that's disheartening to think about. But you're right. I think we need to start at K through 12 with trying to make people aware. And we don't really do it at the college level or the high school level either. Children are our future. Teach them well, and they will show the way.
Well, that's exactly what we're. So one of the things
like a song. Never worked.
One of the things that we were telling the kids, we were showing them 3D printing, and I was talking about, and I'm like, look, it's not just building, doing 3D printing on a MakerBot.
Yeah, a lot of people with pies, especially kids, are just like, oh, cool, I can play games.
Exactly. But I was telling them, I'm like, NASA actually has a full rocket engine that they build using 3D printing. Yes, it's metal. It's not plastic.
Yeah.
But there's manufacturing that's going on. There are Chinese are putting 5-story building apartment blocks up using concrete and 3D printing. Mm-hmm. There's a company in California, and this is in the latest Wired magazine. Speaking of which, I purchased a year's supply of Wired and got a YubiKey for like $5. So
nice.
That's not bad. But anyway, so in it, in Wired, they actually are talking about a California company that is basically they have a giant 3D printing, and it takes the raw material in the top and spits out concrete. Now the one there's also one in it's a European company, but I'm not sure exactly where the
SpaceX.
company was. Do what?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, anyway,
SpaceX.
no, it's not SpaceX. So what they do is they set the base of the 3D printer in the center of what's going to be the building, and it does it in a circle, and it makes out of concrete, and of course they finish the sides and the inside, and they can do a house of fairly, it's a small house enough for one or two people.
Yeah.
But they can do a house for about 10 grand and in 24 hours. Think about that. They can build a structure doing this by concrete 3D printing. Anyway.
Yeah, I've seen bridges built with concrete 3D printing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you can do with it.
Well, and we were telling these kids, it's like, they were kind of wondering why we were teaching them 3D printing while we were focusing on it. And I'm like, in 5-10 years, you're going to be the ones that are building these things, that are making these spare parts for vending machines or whatever. Right. And I'm like, so you guys have the opportunity to learn this technology now, so that when you come out of college or even high school, you have that down and you are ready to start hitting the job market.
Well, what will happen is the cost of things that extrude metal and concrete will come down, and they'll become smaller, just like, laser printers became inkjet printers, and now
are you doing the quotes? Lasers.
Lasers. So, it's it will come down in price. It'll become more of an affordable way of building parts than machining it. But right now there's a huge demand for people with trade skills.
Mm-hmm.
The state of West Virginia has 500 open jobs for people just to build new highways and to repair highways. We just passed a big road bond here, and they can't find enough people to fill the positions. So they're working really hard to try to find people to actually build and fix the roads now that we have the money to do so. But there's people. We have a need for welders, and people just don't go out and get these sorts of certifications now in machining and welding and.
Well, you've heard of the Mike Rowe Foundation, right? Where they actually are promoting those industries and helping people get scholarships into that. Because, we focus so much on colleges that,
I'm a college professor, so I sort of bristle whenever someone says, not everyone needs to go to college. But studies show that the higher your level of education, the higher your salary. But there is a need for skilled tradespeople. And Robert C. Byrd Institute here in Huntington, they actually are training people in like machine shop and trades and welding, and they're getting certified so they can pick up those jobs. I have another friend that works in the community college system, in trade school system actually in Ohio. We have the problem now. We don't have enough truck drivers. Mm-hmm. Now, autonomous vehicles will fix some of that, but we're not really up to the point where we're going to turn everything over to self-driving cars.
I think that's further out than, but more for the security implement.
There are people who, for whatever reason, whatever their skill is, whatever their God-given talent is, they're not. Who should go into trade skills. That's what interests them. They can make a very good wage.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't think that you can make someone who should be going to college not go to college just because you think they should be in a trade. We still have a cybersecurity skills gap we're trying to fix.
Yep.
And What we have, unfortunately, are tons of university turning out students who can not even tell you the OSI model, let alone actually do anything once they get out of college. So that's something we've worked really hard on with our hands-on program here.
What's the OSI model? I'm just kidding. Please do not throw out sausage or throw sausage pizza away. There you go.
All people seem to need data processing.
Yeah, that's from the top down, isn't it?
Yeah, it's from the top down.
I go
That's
from the
how
bottom up.
I used to teach protocols, and that's how I taught it was from top down. It
Okay.
makes more sense, and it's less boring. If you start a physical, people are like, God, this is so boring. So yeah, I don't teach it anymore.
You know, and
They found somebody more qualified.
Oh, okay. I really think that what we should do, and this is something that, you know, hopefully with the way that we've been doing HackerCon and we've kind of promoted this, that we can get the younger generations.
Secure WV or is it a HackerCon?
It's HackerCon.
We still have an identity crisis, I think.
No, we don't.
Actually, we got Adrian calling it Secure WV now after all these years.
But I mean, you got to think of the main reason that we, why we have it. You know, why did we call it Secure WV? Because there were still those folks who were trying to get their companies to pay for it, and they're like, "Oh, we're not going to pay for anything that has hacker."
There's a hacker in the name, yeah.
Technically, it's not hacker because there's a 3 in it. But,
well,
you know,
we have that problem with high schools. Whenever we're doing the Gen Cyber, last year it was Thundering Hackers. This year was Agents of Cyber. We sort of had to drop the whole hacker thing because there are principals who said, "You can't come talk to our students if you use the word hacker." So we're still fighting that battle.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing. It's how do we do that? I actually yesterday for the start of the class, I deliberately wore my black hat T-shirt, and one because it's one of those like running really thin ones, which I knew it was going to be kind of warm. They're having an air conditioning issue there, but so
that's the other reason you probably didn't wear a suit and tie.
Oh yeah, I don't. If I can avoid it at all costs, I don't put on pants.
Yeah, I don't have pants on now, as a matter of fact.
But so one of the kids asked me, he was like, "Wait a minute, black hats are bad."
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you understand what a hacker is? And so, you know, I had that opportunity to explain to them what Black Hat was as a conference, but also to explain to them what it means to be, you know, into security and that hackers aren't all bad and all that stuff. And that's where we're going to change it.
I've been working on that for years. It's one of my chief missions. I used to teach first year seminar where we studied hacking. And hacking was talking about hacker culture, and that hacking is about problem solving as much as it is.
Oh yeah,
defending networks as much as it is being a black hat or a gray hat or a white hat. Anyway, I feel like I'm beating the dead horse half the time.
Well, but maybe that's something that you know, if the listeners get in contact with you, maybe that's something they want to hear more of.
No, please do, because I'm extremely not busy, and I'm more than happy to help you however I can.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm kidding you.
No,
if you have a need, there's probably people in your community who will talk to students about what hacking is, what hackers are. Jason Street's made it his life's work. There are other people in the community. Reach out to them. Dave Kennedy just said he went to the local library the other day to help folks out with their technology problems. We're getting ready to do a couple of things here. I'm getting ready to teach a Security Plus certification class. Even not a big fan of certification. What we're finding as far as job training, um, there are people who probably should have it, including people who take our educational classes that don't have this lack the certification. And Security Plus fulfills those federal requirements of having a specific certification, so they can
Yep,
work.
8570.
So, so we're going to do that. The other thing is that we're reaching out to the local community centers, and we're going to use our Hackers for Charity student groups as volunteers. And we're going to go in and do after-school programs using Raspberry Pis, teach them Python, teach them about security, that sort of thing. So that trying to get that funded right now. We're looking for some local businesses to cough up some change. We can do two cohorts of 25 for about $1,500 a piece. We're thinking. So for $3,000, you can have a pretty large impact on the community. The other thing we have here, we're still fighting the opioid crisis in Huntington. And I get sick of hearing the word opioid crisis, but many of these children are being affected because they have a family member who's either overdosed or is using. So to get them out after school, we're looking at K through 12 and doing some sort of activity that's beneficial to them, teaches them life skills, teaches them critical thinking, teaches them that they're worth something and they have skills. That's kind of what we're aiming at. But other than that, I'm not really doing much. So
Slacker.
sorry, I got on a rant there.
No, I don't think it's a rant.
I got on a rant. Sorry. So anyway, there's another story we should talk about. U.S. Intel chief warns of devastating. U.S. Intel chief warns of devastating cyber threat to U.S. infrastructure. In other words, in other news, water's still wet.
Yep.
So this is previous to the president meeting with Vladimir Putin and the post indictments, and he's saying that all the warning signals are there, and we're not really doing anything to stave off what they call cyber Pearl Harbor. You know, that goes back to, I think the first person to use that term is Winslow Tao. Although other people say that it was someone else, I can't remember. But that pops up every once in a while. Either cyber Pearl Harbor or cyber 9/11. We have a devastating attack to critical infrastructure. Who knows? I mean, we hear this all the time. At what point do we do something about it?
Yep.
I don't know. I just don't know what to say. I put it up there because I thought it was something to noodle. But is that really news? I guess the people who don't do security,
Well,
it's fear, uncertainty, and dread. It's going to get some people some more money, I'm sure, in the budgetary process.
oh yeah, some more blinky lights. But even at that, are people seeing this, and is it falling on deaf ears?
I don't know. We're spending a lot of money somewhere. Sorry, I'm gathering up my trash. My obsessive compulsiveness just kicked in. So,
it's all those beer.
actually, what they are is Coke bottles. I drank so much Coke. Oh, and apparently, I also have fruit flies. That's nice. I'm waiting for the health department to come shut us down. Fun times. This year we have fruit flies, which we usually have, and now we've got ant infestation that I'm in a battle to the death with the ants.
Yeah.
But anyway, other than that, oh yeah, we're doing a podcast. I'm sorry, I forgot.
What we are? What?
Who were we? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll get somebody some more money or something. But we've heard this 1,000 times. What do we do? What do you do? We've asked private industry to secure their critical infrastructure. I mean, short of nationalizing the power grid, I'm not sure what else you can do.
Yeah.
We have people whose job it is in states to secure infrastructure. I get to interface with those people pretty regularly. I'm on the InfraGard board of directors from West Virginia to West Virginia. InfraGard chapter, which is all of West Virginia. Actually, I was just recently made vice president.
Ooh.
So if you can start calling me Your Honor, that, and a lot of people will just call me Fed, I'm sure. So, we've done all these things for critical infrastructure. If you talk to people who are doing like power grid work, they say it's gotten a lot better. So what is this, what's the U.S. Intel chief worried about? Is that Dan Coates? Was that who said that?
Yeah.
The guy that came out and called Trump a dumbass the day after he handed everything over to Putin. Not trying to get political on the show. It's just what happened.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Dan Coates. Yeah. So Dan Coates is the guy who said this, and he's the guy that heads up, all basically is in charge of all the intelligence agencies. So the question becomes: is he sounding an alarm, or is this FUD?
I don't know.
Dead air, Benny. We're not supposed to have dead air.
Yeah.
What's
hey, you're the one that went and took a leak on me, man.
I'm sorry, I can't edit. I'm too lazy. Man, it's been a crazy time here lately. It's about 400 degrees in upstairs of my house, so I feel for you with your air conditioning issues. So anyway, I think we've beaten that dead horse to death. Did we do the last one? And I think I'll just read this and people can come look at it. Hackers have breached the network of LabCorp, one of the largest diagnostic blood and testing and laboratories in the United States, sparking fear of millions of patients' private records exposed. And this was an exclusive to the Daily Mail UK. Did you look at this at all?
Just a few minutes ago.
So you didn't look at it, is what you're trying to tell me.
No.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
So they shut down the entire
network. Shut the whole network
across the U.S. on Sunday morning.
Yeah, because they thought they may have been hacked, but no one knows at this point. At least if they know,
insists there is no evidence of unauthorized transfer or misuse of data.
Yeah, but is that what they're saying? Or did they bring somebody in for incident response?
It didn't say. I haven't seen that yet.
I would say
it's probably them saying that,
because they're going to cover their own ass. Yeah, I mean, this is a HIPAA violation.
Mm-hmm.
They should be covered entity. So yeah, it could be a huge problem. So are they sticking their head in the sand? Probably.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, yeah, I don't know.
Fun times.
Yeah, that just ticks me off. It's getting to the point of,
well, who has never had a blood draw from LabCorp?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's huge.
How far back? Yeah, how far back are the records?
Yeah, who knows?
So,
electronic health records, aren't they supposed to be kept forever?
I
don't think they have a purge date.
Yeah.
Although it kills me, I recently was evaluated for knee replacement surgery, and every entity I talked to acted like they'd never heard of me before. You have to write down all your medications and your medical history over and over and over again. And I'm like, this is the reason that we have HIPAA high tech, is that you might want to sit down with me and verify it, but why do I have to sit here with pen and paper and write this down over and over and over again?
Yeah, the thing that bugs me is, and then what do they do with those papers? Hopefully they're shredding them.
Well, they're probably putting them in a file. Who knows? Are they scanning them? I mean, I don't know. I had to be admitted to the hospital, which took forever, and all it was is they sat down and asked you about your medications. They took your blood and they gave you an EKG to make sure you didn't have some really prevalent heart issue, and that was it. And I sat there for 3 hours.
Yep.
And it's because they were admitting so many people at one time in the hospital, because you get pre-admission if you're going to have any sort of outpatient surgery. I didn't have to go through that for some other stuff I did. I'm over 50, so I got the really fun test last year.
Well, here's the thing
when they stick the camera up. Never mind.
Woo!
Well,
Hey,
at least
it's a
I was
family show.
asleep. At least I was asleep for it. That's all I did.
So
what's this have to do with Halloween? Go ahead.
So this kind of makes me wonder about, okay, so here is an actual medical company.
Yeah.
Can't hold on to
probably the
records.
largest medical company. Do you ever you remember Johnny Long's no tech hacking talk from 10 years ago, right? Where he finds the dumpster that's open.
No.
So apparently there used to be a LabCorp. He never doesn't mention them, but you can look at them, tell they're LabCorp bills or statements, and they just threw them away in the dumpster. They didn't shred them. They didn't do anything. So I think there's a long history. It's just a big corporation, and as a result, the more bigger it becomes, the more ungainly it becomes, and the harder it is to manage. And they probably just have rolled the dice too many times.
The thing that gets me with this is, okay, so here's a big medical company.
Mm-hmm.
What about a third party that is keeping not your medical history, but your biometrics? We were talking about this in P&D a couple of weeks ago. And
explain to everyone what P&D is, just for background.
The actual nickname is Practical Network Defense. It is a group, basically. Wayne and Steve and I decided to get together and kind of talk about security. Hey, they wanted to know how to, how bad is it or how easy is it to get into wireless access points?
In this case, they were network defenders, people who were running networks, and they wanted some.
Well, actually, the reason I was going through my certified ethical hacker class, and I told Wayne, I'm like, hey, I'm letting that one die out. But anyway, I was telling Wayne about it, and he's like, man, my company would never send me to that. And I'm like, well, why don't we just meet at your company?
Well, I'll be honest with you, not to interrupt your story. How much useful stuff did you learn in the CEH class?
I learned, I knew some things, but I'll be quite honest with you. After getting the certificate, I think we were talking one night, me, you, and Matt, maybe Rick, at one of our board meetings, and you all were talking about how shady the company was.
Yeah.
And I did a little research.
Let's not go into that, because I really don't want to get a cease and desist letter for the podcast. But
yeah,
they had some issues.
Yeah, they've had issues, and that was the thing. And so I just thought, I don't want to deal with that anymore, So, but anyway, so we started meeting once a week, and I was kind of showing Wayne and Steve a couple of things, and it was just a place that we could sit down and talk about, what we're seeing, stories that, articles that we've talked about. We've even, so anyway, it ballooned into every Tuesday night we would get together at Wayne's office, and then it even moved to Bridge Valley, which it's at now. And so we actually get in there, and the last few times last few weeks, last week we went over OSINT a little bit. The few weeks before that, we went over. We actually walked through Skydog Con 5 CTF, just to, that was kind of leading into the OSINT, because it was kind of OSINT related. We've just pulled down vulnerable VMs and fired them up, and went that way with it. So it's just a place that a few of us get together, and we've got about 6 people that do it now, and off and on. So
you on me about every week, right?
Yep, every week, every Tuesday, except for this evening, of course. And I just was too tired to do it this
Do
evening.
a
But
podcast and then drive over there and do that, right?
yeah,
After doing training, after doing,
yeah.
yeah.
So we do this every Tuesday from 6 to 8 at Bridge Valley, and Bridge Valley's kind enough to let us use their space, and that's kind of why I'm doing the camp for them this week. Is I figured I would give back to them since they're letting us use their space year
That's
round.
awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And so anyway, what was I talking about? See, you got me sidetracked there.
Sorry, who are you?
Yeah, new phone. Who is this?
Yeah, new phone. Who this?
Oh crap! What was I talking about?
You were talking about P&D.
Yeah, well, I know that, but I can't remember the specific topic.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's it. So another Steve
Mm-hmm.
was talking about he had just come back from Disney, and it was the amount of data that he had to give up
Yeah.
for that, because like 5
They-
years ago we went to Disney and you didn't have to give a thumbprint when you walked
No.
into the
They have some
park.
legitimate security concerns and legitimate security threats. Now, we can argue all day about if it's security theater or not, but in order just to go to Disney, you have to give up biometric information.
Yeah, he had to give a thumbprint, and I'm like, "You did what?" And I was just shocked. And everywhere they went, they had to do thumbprints, or I can't remember the other one. But
Retina
anyway,
scans.
so no, they didn't have to do retina
Saliva.
scans. Yeah, they had the peanut cup, and anyway,
Yeah.
I think that was a separate one. But it's just amazing. And the crazy part about it was the week after he came back, he found an article where Disney actually had to shut down both Florida and California. They had to shut down their network due to something.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
But I'm just like, okay, we were even talking about, so now they have your thumbprint.
Mm-hmm.
You go to a drink station anywhere in the park and you order a soda. And you decide that you're going to get one of the fancy cups that will let you get sodas or drinks throughout the park, right? For free. You just pay one price, you get this collector's cup, and then you could get drinks anywhere.
You hopefully wash it out between drinks, but yeah,
Well,
that's what I was saying.
But anyway, the interesting part was, we're going to test this theory out in the next week or two. He's going to bring in one of the cups and we're going to look for the RFID tag. But there's probably an RFID tag because it knew how many times you had been there. And one of the guys said that because like there's a limit that they have, but it says unlimited drinks.
Right.
His buddy actually busted that limit and they told him he couldn't have any more free drinks.
Really?
He had to buy another cup. Yeah.
That's
and
crazy.
I'm like, what was that? And he goes, I don't know. It was ridiculously high because he drinks a lot of soda. But so now you have this RFID tag cup. So, I mean, are you going on rides and they're now tracking you because
they probably track you to the park?
Yeah, and I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I would
surprise me.
I would love to have like a pineapple or even just a modified Raspberry Pi W, in my pocket when I'm going around just to see this stuff. But
good luck with that.
Yeah. Oh no, they won't allow that.
Yeah, they would not like that at all.
But then that begs the question: do they have devices that can tell that someone's doing that? I don't know.
Well, they're gonna wand you going into the park. You might have to empty your pockets. You could be
empty your pockets. They wand you, and you walk through.
It's like going through TSA, except you don't have to take your shoes and belt off.
Well,
yeah.
But yeah, there's all kinds of things that they do. But what if they lose that data? Now your biometrics is out there. Not that it's not out there already.
Well, that's always been the issue of biometrics. Use your thumbprint to unlock your phone. Use your thumbprint to unlock your bank account. What happens if your thumbprint becomes compromised, you can't change your thumbprint.
Right.
And that's always been the issue with biometrics. So that's the
Yep.
reason that multi-factor authentication is the way to go, where you use some sort of mixture of biometric plus password plus time-sensitive codes, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of this stuff's not easy. I mean, it's not hard to implement, but you implement it. Oh, this is fail-safe. I can use my thumbprint. Well, what if that becomes compromised? What else
Yep.
becomes compromised? How many places are you using your thumbprint, especially on apps, for access?
None for me. Thank you very much.
Well, I can tell you several for me, and they're all financial related.
No.
So if I turn up tomorrow with my thumb's missing, you know what happened. I've got students, and they're not trolling me. Like, they'll use like a different finger just so that they can, like, I use my ring finger, which is
Are you sure
less.
it's the ring finger? It's not.
Yeah, it might be their middle finger. Just because they're concerned about it. And there's some people who are like, I only use my biometric unlock, and never. And I picked up a student's phone, Jen Cyber, and she knows better. She's a DFIA major. She left her phone sitting there unlocked, so I took 400 pictures of myself. And I'm like, you really need to lock your phone. She's like, I just don't want to. I don't have anything to hide.
And that's the other thing. People say, but I've got nothing to hide. I haven't done anything wrong. That's not the point. The point is you're giving up that freedom to, at some point, they're going to find something that you have done wrong.
Yeah. There are people who will take their phones into China and they're like, I don't have anything to hide. I'm like, well,
there are people that take their phones to DEF CON. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, but I think you take it to China, especially if you're somebody who's a, important key member of the management team, you're going to get targeted.
Oh yeah.
DEF CON's is a bunch of script kiddies.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to get hacked.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bill said that, not me.
I mean, I take a lot of precautions, like turn off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, or even turn the phone off if I'm at even DerbyCon or Secure WV, because you don't know who's playing around. They're probably not going to do anything malicious, but
well, you shouldn't have your Bluetooth or Wi-Fi on unless you're using those things.
The thing is I use them all day.
Oh, see, I don't
in usual use, and that's just because they're very convenient. My Wi-Fi, I'm using because I don't want to run up my data plan. And although Adrian podcasted it one time for like 4 hours and never run it completely up, and my Bluetooth unlocks my car. So
really,
the question becomes, how much convenience are you willing to give up to be, quote, secure?
When I say don't run with your Wi-Fi on outside of your trusted networks.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but if I turn it on, I go to Marshall, and I'm on Marshall's network, and then people know where I work, and then you're driving down the street, all those untrusted networks are going to touch your phone. You're not going to like turn your Wi-Fi on and off when you get in and out of the car. Does anyone do that?
Yep.
I don't.
I do. When I leave the house, the first thing that I do when I get in the car after starting it, normally to turn on the air conditioning, is I turn off Wi-Fi, and I don't run with Bluetooth. I have a Bluetooth headset that I use occasionally. I don't use Bluetooth at all on anything, laptop, tablet, phone, anything. There's nothing that gives me the convenience, minus the headphones, that I want the Bluetooth for at all. I
use my Bluetooth.
I definitely wouldn't unlock my car with it.
Well, that's an exaggeration. It doesn't unlock my car, but there is Bluetooth on my keys that unlock my car. Because it's keyless. It's keyless entry. It's either RFID or Bluetooth. I'm not sure which. Probably RFID. But Bluetooth for hands-free phone in a car, of course.
No, see, I wouldn't do that at all.
Yep. Benny, I just think you're a Luddite.
Yep.
So maybe I'm just insecure.
You are. But see, it's stuff like that people don't know, or at least you're thinking about it. At least you're sitting there and going, you know what? I want the convenience for this.
Right.
But there are apps that you can get, at least on the Android, and I would assume on the iPhone as well, and Windows Phone, that there are apps that you can say, oh, when I leave this network,
Yeah. When I leave the house.
turn it off.
Yeah.
Now, the thing with that
on
is,
Android, yes. iPhone, not so much.
okay, so I've got one, and it's called Tasker, I think.
Is that on iPhone?
Android.
Who uses an Android phone? No wonder you have to turn off the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth.
What?
Most hackable device. You might as well be running Windows XP on a phone.
Yeah, right. So anyway, I have this application that when I leave my network, it automatically turns off the Wi-Fi. And when I check it, I make sure that it is. Now, sometimes it works, and because like when I get in my car, it can still find my network. But you know, there are things that people can do that can fix it. You know.
Here's something that's interesting. I have a colleague with a newer car. So we were driving down the street the other day, and it was connecting to our work network. The car was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, who buys a car that has Wi-Fi in it? Why would you want Wi-Fi?
That happening more.
And there's the Apple Connect with cars where it's not connecting to Wi-Fi on your car, but it's connecting to Wi-Fi on your phone, which is connected to your car.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah. And I guess that's really true of any sort of connected technology. You're basically connecting your car, which has absolutely no security controls,
right,
to a wireless network. Although they're starting to build them better, but still, I mean, it's not exactly the best situation to think about. And everyone says, well, no one would attack that.
They haven't, quote, attacked it yet, but there are proofs of concept out there.
How do you know they've never attacked it? That's what I'm saying. You know, I guess you have to figure out what kind of target you are. You can only manage risk. You can't eliminate it. So you have to think about how much convenience you want over how much inconvenience that you can stand. And that's going to be true. That's Gardner's corollary or Gardner's coronary of computer security, of information security, of cyber security. Okay, well, I've been doing this way too long because apparently I'm punch drunk now. Ben, thanks for coming on. We've been here for at least an hour. And for everyone else, we will try to be back pretty soon. I've got some other guests lined up. Although Benny, you can come back every week if you want to.
Cool. Okay.
You can come back every week. We'll get some other people to come on, talk about things and junk and stuff.
I'll read the stories this time.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I need that
next time.
Here. Anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll be back hopefully next week with another Reboot It. Good night, everyone.
Good night.